everyone. It's almost July, and my goodness, we've passed through 1 month of hurricane season already. Yay. On our way to month 2, but I'm really glad that we're already here almost in July. A lot of good things to say about that. Glad that you're joining us again and that you join us every week to know what the updates are. And we'll start like we usually do with a prayer from Steve and maybe information from the voice. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Lynn. Let's pray. God, we try hard to trust that you are our shepherd, and therefore we won't have needs beyond our abilities to cope. We know that there have been times that you have made us lie down in green pastures and gotten a rest, or led us by still waters to reduce the tension, or help us to reach out to others to bring right relationships. But Lord, we are walking through a valley of the shadow of death. And despite our desire to not fear, we do fear the evil, the invisible pledge. We ask you to be with us, to give us courage, to prepare us moments of joy in the presence of this enemy virus, and let our cups run over so that we might once again experience goodness and mercy in the days of our lives. We trust you, Lord, and when we don't trust you, we try to trust you, so help us. Amen.
Amen.
Well, hello, voice. I don't like this. You don't like it? You don't like what? All this. All this staying in place and doing all these things. I don't like it. Well, I'm sorry that you don't like it, but, no, wait a minute. I'm telling you, I don't like it. You stop it. Stop it? I don't have the ability to stop it. Oh, you're just one of those peons, huh? Well, have Lynn stop it then.
Oh, voice, I wish I could. I don't like it either.
Oh, my goodness. All right, we'll get a petition that goes to Orlando. They can stop it, right? I'm afraid not. Okay, I got an idea. What's that? We'll call the president and make him stop it. I'm afraid the president isn't able to do that either. I'm afraid that no one has the ability to stop it right now. Then what do we do? Well, I think we just have to endure it for a while, but not alone. We endure it with each other. And we find ways to break the tension and have a little joy, and that'll help us. Okay, that means you're going to give me some dessert tonight, right? Well, I might. Okay, well then we'll hear from Lynn about the good news. Here's Lynn.
Thank you, voice. And Steve? I don't have all good news. I have a little good news, maybe. Every time that we tape this call, about 2 hours beforehand, I'm on a call with all the senior management across the Westminster communities of Florida. They always start that call with how many cases have gone up since the last call. We have a call on Thursdays and a call on Monday. The cases in Florida from last Thursday until today have gone up 42,000 cases.
Oh, wow.
In 4 days. That's amazing. That's horribly amazing. Deaths have gone up by about 120, and hopefully that won't continue to rise as much as the cases, because maybe people are learning the best way to care for these cases of COVID that go to the hospital. But I wanted to let you know that that's an alarming amount of cases. I have a graph that I want to show you that shows from February until June where we are in Florida. I hope you can see this. This is where we were in February, flat, and March we were flat, April, we went up a little. March, we went up a little. No, I'm sorry, that was April. We went up a little. Thank you. And May, we kind of went squiggly down a little bit. And this is June, all the way up here. Alarming, alarming. Now, please know, remember we started to open Florida, and people didn't take it as seriously as it is. I still see people when I go to the grocery store. I told someone this morning that I've got to get to the grocery store, although I really don't like going. But I need fruits and vegetables, so I must go. But when I go to the grocery store, I see people that just don't have masks on and just don't seem to care. It's very concerning to me that the cases that we see in Florida, a lot have to do with, yes, we are testing more people. And people tend to think, oh, that's why we're seeing more cases. Well, yes, it is because we are testing more. But the other side of that is indeed that people are not wearing masks. People are not washing their hands and being socially distant. All the things that we've been saying to you for several months now. And I'm asking, please, that we do that, and I will say that several times today. Across Westminster communities of Florida, we have been really good up until the last few weeks without cases, hardly any at all, if one or two. Well, we've spiked in the last couple weeks. After this taping last week, I learned about Suncoast. I wish I had that information to share last week, but indeed it was after this taping of this town hall that I learned that Suncoast has 15 positive cases. They're all contained within one unit. It is not their transitional care unit, which is where people are admitted from the hospital, go to the transitional care unit. There is a team that's at the transitional care unit that only serves those residents. They come to work and at work change into their work clothes, don't leave the unit. When they leave, they change out of their work clothes and have their work clothing laundered right away. All of us have our temperatures checked and must fill out a form every day of how we're feeling, if we have any symptoms, or if we've been in close contact with anyone who has COVID. But the cases that are at Suncoast are not the cases in the transitional care unit. They're in one of the other units that is now quarantined, and they are taking care of those folks only on that unit, and it has not crossed into any of the other units. In addition, I learned that there were 2 staff that are also positive at Suncoast. And Bradenton Manor, there are 3 staff that are positive. At the Palms, there are 2 staff that are positive. At the Oaks in Tallahassee, there are 3 staff that are positive. At Westminster Winter Park, there's 1 staff member. At Point Pleasant in Bradenton, there are 3 resident cases and tests out on several of the staff that they don't have results for yet. In our rental retirement communities, which are not the continuing care retirement communities like we live at the shore or at the Suncoast or Palms, they are experiencing cases as well. They have 2 communities where there are 4 residents between the 2 communities and 2 staff also that have tested positive. So as it appears on the graph that the cases that have gone up in Florida have also affected our communities. That's concerning, and that's why we're asking your help as well. The little piece of good news, or the silver lining in all of this, if there is any, is that tomorrow, you're going to see this Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday is July. That means that we're not in March, or we're not in April, or May, or June, which means that we have better understanding of this virus, even if it's a little better understanding. We have more tests, so that we can test people to see if they're positive or negative, hopefully. We also have more PPE, personal protection equipment, like these masks, gloves, gowns if we need them, ventilators, respirators. That wasn't available in March when this virus came to the United States in the state of Washington. And then the hotspot was New York City and New York State, and how indeed people were crying out for ventilators and personal protective equipment. We're in a much better place than we were back then, so I guess that's the good news. Although I wish I could say the good news was that we had no more cases. That day will come, I pray. Words of caution to all of you to please stay vigilant. Now is not the time to go out and think, oh, well, we've gone through a couple months of this. We really can go out and go to restaurants and things. Oh, please don't. Masks are mandatory on this community. Mandatory. If you see someone without one, do not get close, but you can certainly say, hey, where's your mask? If it's an employee, I want to know about it so I can talk to them. If it's a fellow resident, please talk to them and remind them as soon as they leave their home, be it an apartment, a villa, or a house, that they need to wear their mask. Don't be close to our staff. Please stay at least 6 or more feet away. What we can see is that our residents aren't going places, but our staff are. And indeed, the staff will be the people that knowingly or not knowingly bring COVID to our community. Most of it will probably be not knowingly, because they will be asymptomatic. They won't have a fever. They won't have the cough. They will have no symptoms, but yet they might be a carrier. So please keep your distance from our staff. Hard to do. It's hard for our staff to do. Our staff loves to be with you. Our staff loves to be close and touch you and hug you if we can. That's one of the pieces that's really missing. I know I feel that in my life, and I always would get close to to residents, but right now we're asking you to keep your distance, please, for your own safety and that of our staff as well. I really don't want you to live in fear of this. And on the last call that I was on just a short while ago, our new president, Terry Rogers, said that there is a flip side to fear. And that is to be courageous and to be strong. And that's, I believe, how our residents are, and I know that's how our staff are acting. Be strong, be courageous, and don't live in fear. We just ask that you be very vigilant about what you do. Likewise, I know there's rumors out there about Westminster Home Care, that, oh my goodness, their staff tested positive, and yes, a couple of their staff did. But as far as I can tell, Westminster Home Care did not bring any COVID to this campus. The COVID that came in the 2 cases that we have here, well, one is no longer here, but the other case that we have was not brought here by any of our staff or the Westminster Home Care staff. So please know that if you need home care, Westminster Home Care is probably the best way to go for a few reasons. One is Westminster Home Care has stopped seeing anybody outside of the Westminster communities. They had in the past seen people in the Bradenton and St. Petersburg larger communities. They have stopped that. They are only seeing residents within our Westminster communities of Florida. Also, going forward, that the Westminster Home Care staff is going to be tested. They have been tested, but like all of our staff, will be tested every 2 weeks to make sure that we can provide the safest care to all of our residents. And talking about testing, the state of Florida has mandated that all people who work in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, so that's all of our staff here, is tested every 2 weeks. We're expecting test kits. We've been expecting them since Friday. We are required to have our staff tested first by July 7th, which is only a week from tomorrow. But we need the test kits that are coming from California. And we will go forward testing staff every 2 weeks so that we can stay on top of this and catch inadvertent cases as they come along. Again, some of those cases are the ones that are asymptomatic, and people have no idea that maybe someone that they worked with or saw, a relative or something that might be COVID positive, and they don't know about it. So we're waiting for the supplies to arrive, like I said. And along with that, I've sent a letter to all of the vendors that come on this campus. That includes other home care agencies, that includes therapies from outside of our Westminster Shores therapies. That means people who are doing renovations and construction work outside, in our assisted living area, will not be allowed to be on campus. First of all, they must be tested at Bahama Place with their temperature check, and then also fill out the documentation. But they also must provide us with paperwork documentation that indeed they have a negative test. So that indeed is part of what we're doing, keeping everyone safe and requiring the tests. That's mandated by the state. Just a reminder, if someone comes to your home to do a repair, you've ordered a service from Spectrum or an outside agency, it's your responsibility to not let them in your door unless you say to them, have you checked in at Bahama Place? There you need to have your temperature checked, and you will fill out the appropriate documentation. Also, it's your responsibility to say, hey, where's your mask? To be on this campus, you must be wearing a mask. So that's all up to you, and we appreciate that indeed you are vigilant. It's the word of the day, vigilant, with making sure that people who might come to your home to provide a service, our staff should be wearing their masks, and they are tested every morning, and we're tested on our way out in the evening as well. But if someone comes to your door and is there to provide a service, make sure they're masked and make sure that they have already checked in at Bahama Place. EAP, the Employee Assistance Program. I told you this, well, it's months ago now, that this was also available to our residents and our residents' families. It's a supportive and counseling service that's free to our residents and your families. If people are struggling and being fearful, like we talked about a minute ago, please don't be fearful without reaching out and having someone to talk to. Counseling is a tremendous support to people who are going through these difficult times, and all you need to do is ask about the phone number. It's a confidential service to you, and I know we put that phone number at least twice on information that we shared with you. If you need it again, please, you don't have to tell me. Just put a note in my box and I will write a phone number and leave it for you. And when we put something else out again, we'll try to include that again. But please don't suffer in silence. There are people who are able to help you. It's free, it's confidential, and it's not just for our staff, it's for our residents and our family and their families during these difficult times. HIPAA, I'm sure you've heard about it when you've gone to your doctor's office or you've gone for a procedure. It's protecting your health information, your private information. People ask me all the time, well, who has COVID? And can't you tell me who? No, I cannot. That's a HIPAA, it's a federal regulation. Just like if it was you that had some kind of health issue and you didn't want it shared, I'm going to do my best to protect your health information. I don't want my health information shared. Please understand that we cannot do this. It would be breaking a federal law. So might as well not even ask, because my answer to you every time is, I can't tell you that. So please be aware that it really is a law and we can't break it, and I don't think I'd want to be spending time in jail right now.
And we can't visit her if she goes to jail, so it's good to keep her out of jail.
That's right, thank you. The Mercy Fund. I just wanted to remind you that Mercy Fund is a fund that was established to help our staff members. Like I said, some staff members may come down with COVID. Not knowingly, not intentionally, just by being in contact with someone that they didn't know had COVID. The Mercy Fund has been established through our foundation to help employees who must stay out of work for 14 days and have negative tests before they can come back. Some of them don't have enough vacation time, personal time to take, and then they'll be missing pay that they need to keep their home going and their family going. So if you are so inclined and would like to donate, we now have DeLynn in our foundation office that you could make a donation to the Mercy Fund if you'd like, and we appreciate that. Swimming reminders. Swimming is one of the only things that, the pools are one of the only things that are open here. Our dining room is closed. Our fitness center is closed. Our salon is closed. Group activities are closed. So the pool is one of the things that's available to you to get outside and enjoy some fresh air and some exercise. But there are pool rules. I read them last week, but I'm going to read them again because it seems that some people either didn't hear them or maybe think they don't apply to them. The pool is going to be open every day from 7:30 in the morning till 6:30 at night. You must reserve a time with the Bahama Place receptionist. She has sheets that she can fill in for your half-hour slots. You can make those reservations by calling in or in person. There are no more than 2 people allowed at the pool at a time. It was reported to me that last week there were 4 people at the pool. Doesn't make it. It's 2 people at a time. And that would mean if you get into the pool to swim laps or to do some water exercise, then don't get out and sit on the side for another half hour while new people come in to do their laps or their exercise. You're allowed to sign up for 1 pool visit a day. If you are there and within 10 minutes, the other person who has signed up for a time slot does not show up, then they give that time away to you. So I understand sometimes people get phone calls or whatever, but only 10-minute grace period. If you're on the deck, thank you. You must be wearing your mask. You can't be on the deck without your mask. I don't expect you to wear a mask when you're doing your laps or you're in the pool doing water exercises, but please wear your mask when you're on the deck. Also, because of exercises and how much heavier and harder we breathe, when we're in the pool area, we're asking that people keep not 6 feet, but 10 to 12 feet distance apart from each other when they're in the pool area. And just please be responsible, respect each other and the time slots and the rules, because we want you to enjoy it. All right. I want you to know that tonight, I just realized that you won't get, this is going to be moot. There's a pour, and you'll already have experienced it by tomorrow when you watch this. Sorry, we'll do a call them all.
What?
A nighttime pour for Sunrise Point, the cement pour.
Oh, cement pour.
Yes, I didn't say cement, did I?
Well,
I just said
I mean,
pour. You were thinking beverages, weren't
you?
No, not that kind of a pour, sorry. Masks are required. They're mandatory. I don't know how else to say this, but you hear me say it over and over and over again. Please help each other, remind each other, tell staff if you see their mask. I saw something very funny today that it says masks. This is the way to wear a mask. It has to cover your nose, it has to cover your mouth, and should be hanging on the bottom of your chin. This is not the way to wear a mask. Covering your mouth only is not a way to wear a mask. Wearing it over your head is not a way to wear a mask. It should cover your mouth, and nose. So please keep that in mind if you see people's masks drifting down, because it must be up there over your nose and your mouth. Paper mail versus MyW Life. There will be something that will appear in your mailbox, your in-house mailbox, also known as your cubby box, very soon, probably this week, that will give you the option to either have mail still put in your in-house mailbox, your cubby box, or that you would choose to go online to MyW Life and see what's there. Things are usually put in the COVID section. Of course, in any other department section, if you have something specific about a department, or there's a community information icon that you can go and see what the most current information is. In that community information icon, there's one that says memos. So if there's something that comes out for me with all kinds of reminders and things, that will be where it is. It will probably also be in the COVID information icon as well. So look for this. You can check off if you don't want mail, paper mail. We're trying to be a little bit more understanding and green, even though it's a tough time to be green. But we're trying our best, and we don't want to stuff the boxes with mail. It takes paper, it takes staff time. So please, if you don't want mail in your in-house or cubby mailbox, please fill this out. And if we don't hear from you, we're probably going to come back and call you and ask you, just so that we have everyone covered. And just another reminder, I know you've seen things around the community that Wednesday, July 1st, from 9 in the morning till noon, we will have our shredding truck here. So please bring all that paperwork that you don't need anymore and bring it down. I believe it will be on 56th Avenue, and where it was last year under the big kapok tree, and bring it down so you can get rid of all that stuff. Lighten your load. Your apartment will go, oh, it's so much better without all that paperwork. So anyway, I think that's everything that I have. I have some questions here. One was just to remind people to turn off their water when they're washing their hands. No need to leave it running for the 20 seconds that you have to scrub your hands. So you can water and lather and turn it off and then scrub like crazy. Remember friction and all between your fingers and your nails and on top and up your arms a little bit, all to protect you and to protect everyone else. But turn it off while you're scrubbing. There's reconfirm a policy of posting notices, and I will talk to the staff about that. There are times we do post things in the elevators. Mostly it's to catch your attention, because the elevator walls are usually blank. And if there's something that we feel is important, like there are some I know in Bahama Place here that says, wear your mask. Did you forget your mask? Go back home and get your mask. It's important because masks are essential here. So I'll remind the staff about posting things for not very long. Then there was a question, when a resident in independent living tests positive for the virus, do we track the contacts they've had with other residents and notify them to be either tested or self-quarantine, and do we keep in contact with them? Yes, 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 yes. Indeed, if a resident tests positive, we do tell them that they must quarantine. Then we're in touch with them to find out who were they in close contact with over the last 2 weeks. And remember, on a previous town hall meeting, I told you the difference between close contact and casual contact. but we like to know, period, who you've been in contact with, and we will then be in contact with those people to tell them that they either should be tested and or quarantined for 14 days. And do we stay in contact with them? Yes, we do, to our best ability. That's usually through Randy and our Health Resource Center. So yes, we do. Also, why can't pools be open later than 5? Or at least until the tram ends? Well, it's not quite till the tram ends, but it is later than 5. It's from 7:30 in the morning till 6:30 at night. And usually it's the security guard that puts the lock on the pool. And those were the questions that I had. And Steve, anything else?
I just emphasize, all these cautions that we're making also lend itself to feeling lonely. And loneliness is not just a casual feeling blue. Actually, loneliness can affect your health. I don't know, I think I said last time, but there are some studies that a day of loneliness is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes. And not half as fun, I think, But you do need to pay attention when you're feeling lonely, and there are things you can do, and it's important that you do them. I don't know whether you're hearing me or not, but it is important, and the types of things you can do is you can make contact with other residents. You can make contact with the phone. Even writing a note to someone, you say, well, they're not there, I'm just writing it, but you are emotionally connected. And one of the antidotes to loneliness is connectedness. So it's writing your family, it's writing each other, if you will, it's making phone calls. If you're into the Zoom technology or FaceTime, that's a great way to be able to feel like you're connecting with someone else. But it's important you do. It's not just casual. We're protecting your emotional health, which in turn protects your physical health. And we're helping, when you call someone else, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping them. Because loneliness lowers your immune system, so that you'd be more susceptible to contracting the COVID or other things. So if you want to protect yourself, also stay in contact in a way that is fun or enjoyable. Send people jokes. Lynn has talked about sending her jokes. Well, send other people. Make them up. Do something that interacts with other people. It is important for your health, for your neighbor's health, for this community. So I'm just urging you to do that. Even as we take all the physical precautions, we pay attention to our emotions as well. And if you can't think of something to do, call me. I'll come up with something crazy. We'll figure out. But do it because you're important. That'd be what I'd say.
Thank you. Okay. And just a reminder that if you do have cloth masks, you should wash them every night. In your sink, run some hot water, take a little soap, rub it like crazy, and let it hang to dry. It'll be dry by the next morning when you're ready to go out. And there was one other thing, and now it just escaped me. I can't remember. Okay, well, I will try to remember it for next week. Thank you. Have a great week. Be safe. Oh, please be safe. You're important to every one of us, and we're a great big family here, and we care about each other. So safety is important. Thank you.
If you want to do one crazy thing, find a familiar song, and no one else is around, do karaoke. Dance and sing it out loud. The thing is, you'll tickle yourself, and you'll feel better having done it. Just be crazy. It's okay. No one's going to see you anyway.
I just remembered what it was.
All right.
It was about a mask, and how some people, it's controversial. Some people think it's ridiculous that we're wearing them. And I have heard this rumor within the last week or two that people think that when they're wearing their mask, they're exhaling all this carbon dioxide, and isn't that horrible for us? Well, I was on a call earlier this morning with a number of residents from 3 different communities, and the comment was made, if it's so bad for us to wear masks continually and to have this little bit of carbon dioxide that comes out, imagine how we would be losing surgeons all the time, because everybody in the OR wears their masks sometimes for hours. So please, if someone says that to you, say, oh, hogwash, that's not true. So anyway, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right.